We don't need Zach. Hello.
Hello.
Hi.
Welcome to Screen Source, episode 20. We've made it.
That's right.
We did
Super
it,
Bowl
guys.
edition.
This might possibly be our longest running podcast other than Improv Bagel, is my guess.
Yeah, it's up there. Yeah.
It's got to be
yeah.
up there. Circuit Board's coming in 20 here very soon. This is exciting. We have an exciting day. We have a lot of trailers dropping. We're not watching any of them. We'll watch them all next week.
Yep. You mean
Super
for
Bowl Sunday.
Oh, right,
Halftime. Yeah,
Right,
yeah.
right,
Okay.
right.
Yeah, you looked
If
so
you're
bad.
watching the
like,
football, the
what do we-
sports ball, where they make all the goals and touchdowns and stuff,
Mm-hmm.
score all the points.
Yes.
Then you will see them before us. But
Yeah, you'll see the Lady
You'll see the
Gaga.
next-
You'll see all of that stuff.
I bet Doritos had a really good commercial. They usually do.
They usually do.
Yeah.
Budweiser usually has a pretty good one too.
Mm-hmm.
So what are we doing? Screen Source is a film and television news, reviews, and trailers show that happens here every Sunday at 6 p.m. MST with myself, Dylan,
Jessica.
Scott,
and our other friends that are watching the footballs, Jason, and Kevin.
Kevin.
You guys did it.
Gason.
Jevin and
Jevin and
Gason.
Backwards on that one for
Yeah.
sure.
Uh-huh.
So the big news, or I don't know, I think one of the bigger news
Mhm.
things that came out this last week is that the Ant-Man and Wasp trailer finally dropped.
How many years ago? 3 years ago?
That
was
sounds about
that
right.
Movie?
I
Yeah.
want to say longer, honestly.
Mhm. Could be.
But that first Ant-Man went through a lot of trials and tribulations,
Mm-hmm.
with the original director being kicked out of
Kicked
there.
out.
Yep. They found a new one. Do we even know these directors' names?
No.
No, we should know that they're big directors
should.
too. I just
Yeah.
don't. I don't have it in the back of my
I
head right
know.
now.
I j-
The
I
Marvel
don't-
movie series, there's just so many.
I just know that I love Paul Rudd.
Paul Rudd was
And
fantastic.
it was a
in it.
solid film. It was
Yeah.
really
It
fun.
was actually fun. Yeah.
Yeah.
I liked it a lot.
And so we're gonna do something a little different. We did this we've only done this once before, I think. And I actually didn't mention this to our producer back there, of which he's doing this all on his own.
Yeah. New producer.
New producer, and thank you so much. We really appreciate it, Digi.
Yeah. Thanks, Digi.
Things seem to be going smoothly. Let's watch the Ant-Man and Wasp trailer at the top,
Okay.
and then we have some other trailers for the rest of the night too.
Okay.
That we'll do at the end of the show. But since it's kind of the big news topic of the week, I figured why
Get
not,
into it now?
Why not get into
All
it?
right.
Get into it.
Let's give it a shot.
All right.
And make sure to check that end user, see if that trailer's coming in just right. And let's give this a shot.
Cool.
I just have one question. When Cap needed help, if I'd asked you, would you have come?
I guess we'll never know. But if you had, you'd have never been caught.
I do some dumb things, and the people I love the most, they pay the price.
Thanks to you, we had to run. We're still running.
Let's go.
Maybe you just need someone watching your back. Like a partner.
Hold on. You gave her wings and blasters. So I take it you didn't have that tech available for me? No, I did.
That's awesome.
Fun.
It looks fun.
That looks like a ton of
Oh,
fun.
man,
Yeah.
I love Paul Rudd so much.
It looks like they're really fucking with this size change.
Yeah.
Right?
Use it to their advantage. It's their gimmick. It's
Yeah.
the thing. It's his superpower.
It
thing,
was
yeah.
not. I don't think that was hit on the head as hard as the first movie, though.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. It looks like it's hit more on the head this at least in this trailer, more than the first movie.
Well, because he was figuring it out still.
Sure. Yeah.
He was figuring out the whole system of.
And I think with this trailer, we kind of maybe have to remind people how cool that can be. Because I remember when Ant-Man was first talked about, it was like,
You can get small.
yeah. And then
why do we care?
and then I remember somebody was like, "Oh, I saw the tech demo at Comic-Con," and it's like, I get it. That's gonna be fucking cool. Like they had the scene where he like gets small and he runs up the barrel of the gun and everything.
Yeah.
And it's like, okay, I get it. That's yeah.
And the last time we saw him was Captain America: Civil War.
Yeah.
And he wasn't in it for very long, but it was a lot of fun.
Yeah.
Funny.
Yeah.
Paul Rudd, even in that trailer too, he always hits that comedy. He's comfortable there.
Right.
I think.
Right.
It is intended to be the sequel to Ant-Man and is the 20th film. Hey, we talked about their number 20.
Yeah.
On our number 20.
Wow.
Wow, I know.
The
Isn't that
chances.
unbelievable? It is directed by Peyton Reed and written by Paul Rudd.
Paul Rudd solely by Paul Rudd or
Well, hold on. Let me be
Edgar
a little
Wright's
more
in
fair.
there?
And the teams of Chris McKenna and Eric Summers.
okay.
Chris McKenna, a writer on Community.
Yes. Okay.
Amazing.
He works a lot with Harmon. Peyton Tucker Reed, Bring It On. Yes,
Okay.
Man.
Okay.
Interesting.
Down with Love, I don't know what that is. And The Breakup. Ooh, that was a good one. I actually like The Breakup.
Huh.
Is that the one with
That's the one with
Jennifer Aniston?
Vince Vaughn and Jennifer Aniston.
Yeah. I thought the movie was actually
I
good.
thought it was okay.
I'm okay. I liked Yes Man. I don't remember Bring It On all that much. It's the
I
cheerleader
never saw
film.
it. Yeah, I
It's a
never
lot.
saw it.
It's
Yeah.
It's fun. It's a good time.
Yeah, I don't know that I was the demographic for that.
No,
Sure.
I was like, teenage girl at
Yeah.
the time when it came out. So it
Does
didn't
that one
matter.
have like the hunky guy like teaching the girl how to dance? Or is that a different dance movie?
That's isn't that Save the Last
Save the
Dance?
Last Dance? Well, there's a ton of movies that were like dance movies.
Yeah.
They all came out at the same time.
Yes, the same weekend.
Well,
try
early
and remember these ones, asshole. Yeah.
Yeah, and I watched probably all of them. So
Yeah, you were perfect for that.
yeah, I was their demographic.
So how you guys? I'm assuming that we're all on the same page here. We really want to see this.
Sure.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
I liked it. I liked the first one a lot. I liked the character, the world. A lot like Guardians. I just want to see that world more.
Now
You
that
know.
you mention it, it might be the first funny film in the Marvel universe.
Yeah, I mean it predates Guardians.
Yes.
Um,
and Guardians would be the next, and then
yeah.
after that would be
Thor Ragnarok.
Thor Ragnarok's. Yeah.
As far as
definitely.
like really focusing on that comedy, obviously there's a lot of
Right.
funny parts in all the films.
Yeah, but like they acknowledge he's not a serious superhero. He's
Right.
not like
It's
avenging.
not Logan,
Right.
Yeah.
He's not avenging a death or anything. He's,
which I know isn't in the MCU.
Yeah. But like I still remember the first Ant-Man where he has to work at like with Baskin Robbins or something,
yeah.
and
Yeah.
then they keep on having that thing like, oh, Baskin Robbins always finds out like about his like criminal
Yes.
past and everything.
Doesn't he like cash in all of his last?
Yeah.
Yeah, that was a good one.
Oh
Oh
man.
my God.
It's also the first time we saw like a more like prominent Latino actor in the MCU. I think
Yeah.
is the Ant-Man. I forget his name.
Yeah, but he pops up a couple. He has been popping up a lot more.
Yeah, I see him in more movies.
He's
Michael
big.
Pena.
Yes.
Yes,
Yeah.
I
he's
see him in
great.
more movies now, and I
funny.
think Ant-Man probably was a good jumping point for him. Not a main character, but the best friend.
I've loved Paul Rudd since Clueless.
Yeah,
He's
Yeah.
just got,
And
easy
he's
to love.
got
Still.
that charm and that
He's kind of like Scott.
smile.
Like-
you know?
Like Scott is the Paul Rudd of Color Circuit, right?
Well,
Kind of, yeah.
cool.
Handsomely charming,
Stop it.
getting all the girls, but
yeah,
in a way
definitely.
that is not.
Shut up.
In a way that's nice.
Scott, look at it this way: you're the stepbrother that like she falls in
That
love
we all
want
wanna
to
fuck.
But
Right, yeah.
But she realizes later that like he's a good guy.
Right. Okay. Well, we're still waiting for that third act where it really comes together.
Yeah, it'll happen.
No, I don't want nothing weird like that.
No ex stepsisters or anything.
How do you get an ex?
Like
That's like a genre of porn. I mean, step siblings is huge in porn right now.
Right.
I've heard.
as
but-
is Rugrats.
As is Rugrats. Did you hear about this?
No.
There was a big
did they do
Rugrats
a
parody. Yeah,
parody.
showed up a couple times in my timeline.
People love.
Same thing with the Rick and
adults
Morty one.
dressed
That
in
was a big one.
diapers.
There's a Simpsons parody where they're all yellow.
Oh, something weird about the color.
Yeah.
It's
yeah.
usually it's about the color of anybody's skin. No, I'm just kidding.
All right. I think we veered off topic.
I think so too.
Long enough.
Yeah, let's head over to the next headliner for the day. If you want to switch over that slide, thank you, sir.
Sorry, Dylan. The Walking Dead. Carl might not die, teases Robert Kirkman.
Are you telling me that Carl has from The Walking Dead? Are
So
you telling me
spoiler
that?
alert, guys, if you
Yes.
haven't seen the latest season of Walking Dead.
I think it's season 8, mid-season finale.
Yeah, Carl gets bit by zombies, and usually when you get bit
That's
in this
it.
particular place that he got bit, you die.
That's a good That's a good finale in general.
Yeah.
Yeah. And
S-
so
I have a question about the world.
Yeah.
So there's a place on your body if a zombie bites it, it's okay?
No. Well,
you can sometimes if it's like your limb.
chop
Oh,
it
sure,
off.
sure,
They
sure.
can chop it off.
So it's
and
like
you'll be
gangrene
okay.
or something.
Right.
If you get your hand bitten off, if you cut this off
Exactly.
in time,
Yes.
you could. Okay, I get it.
It's
Okay.
like right after.
So let me guess. I feel like you know, but I'm going to guess. My guess is that we're going to find out that he has an immunity of some sort.
Either that or I don't know what's going to happen. I'm not really sure. I
The answer was
know-
right under their noses the whole time.
could be. I don't know. Robert Kirkman, like, he gave some statement saying either way it's going to be extremely interesting. It's going to be like
Please
really
watch.
fun.
Yeah.
Basically like,
Please.
like it's going to be like crazy. is
Yeah,
what
he didn't
they're
talk it
saying.
down, is what we're saying.
Right. So is The Walking Dead is an end goal post in sight?
I don't think so.
Not at the moment.
They're still just
no.
renewing it and
Yeah,
renewing
and
it.
it's still going strong and tons of viewership, and it's
Mhm.
They just started a crossover with Fear the Walking Dead,
Okay.
the LA-based Walking Dead.
Because that's already been going on, what, two,
For
three
like two-
seasons? Yeah.
Yeah, something like that.
Yeah.
I have not watched Fear the Walking Dead.
I've heard it's a different pace, not
Yeah.
as exciting, maybe.
Yeah.
That's what I hear too. There's not a lot of hubbub
Yeah.
about it.
Yeah.
I do want to. I love this universe so much now, which I may have mentioned here before that I did not like the first couple. No, I didn't like the first couple episodes, and then I played the Walking Dead Telltale game series.
Oh, I like that.
and it got
yeah.
me. It got me like, oh, I have to watch the show.
Oh,
And
interesting.
they very much,
Overlap.
not in story but in tone.
Okay.
The game caught me earlier on than the show did, and then it allowed me to be like, oh, this is what the show's like and about. Yeah,
Mhm.
okay, I'll go watch the show, and the show it's fantastic.
I've watched maybe the first 3 or 4 episodes of the first season of Walking Dead, and it didn't grab me.
Sure.
And then I
It's
didn't.
slow.
Yeah,
You have
yeah.
to- you have to go through pretty much the first. I would say the first 2 seasons.
Uh huh.
And then it
Yeah,
picks
yeah.
up in the 3rd season. is
Well,
what
I did like the Telltale game, so
Yeah.
yeah.
That Telltale game might be my favorite story based game.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Hmm.
I'm just gonna say yes for now.
Mhm.
I
We'll
mean,
see.
it's a long time to wait for it to pick up, but
Yeah.
it's worth it once it happens.
Right.
Because then it's just kind of like fast.
And then you're off. Yeah.
Yeah, it's hard to say. I really do enjoy the first 2 seasons, like as it went on. Second season, yeah, a lot of people having problems with the house. That's the at the house season,
Yeah.
Grandpa's house, and I actually enjoyed. I don't know. Also, another thing, I also may have mentioned this before too. My office mates. My office mate grew up with Robert Kirkman. Went to the same schools, and he
Interesting.
said it was really interesting when he started releasing these comic books where you could clearly see, oh, that is the pharmacy down the street from all of our houses
Oh,
because it's a
wow.
really
Yeah,
tiny
yeah, yeah.
town
That's
in
cool.
the south, wherever it was.
I think Louisiana, maybe. I wanna say,
Maybe.
something like that. Georgia.
Yeah, maybe Georgia.
Georgia
I don't
or
know.
Louisiana.
But he's like, yeah, it's really. He's obviously clearly a good writer and a good artist, and has made the fucking one of the biggest shows in television.
Yeah. Boondoggle.
So,
So Carl, please don't die.
yeah, what are you expecting to happen?
I don't know. I really don't know. I maybe they'll figure some way out of how to cure him, or maybe they'll have to like
I think he
cut
has.
a piece of him out or something.
I think
don't
he's
really know.
immune. That's a. It's. I think
guess
it's kind
it
of a.
could be because of his eye, right?
What? What do you mean? Because
I
of his
don't
eye?
know. He's gotten bit a couple times.
No, he just got shot. People get shot in the eye.
Oh,
You don't have to die.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, you
I
got
don't
shot.
know.
Remember the bullet? Like bullets can just go
Sure.
through your eye and then come out the side.
But what
Right.
would make
Yeah.
him immune though?
That's the question. But I feel like that's a trope that's used in
Sure.
in zombie films
Yeah.
and zombie things, and so I wouldn't be surprised if it gets used here. I guess now that I'm saying it out loud, I kind of hope it doesn't get used because it's a trope.
Right.
What
And I
if
mean,
he's like the chosen one, you know? Like, what if he's like
is that something that's been
second coming.
teased throughout the?
not really?
Because
but
so that'd be
just
kind of a
saying.
weird thing to shoehorn at the end, like,
Yeah.
oh, there's or like an evolution of
Yeah.
human
Right,
that is
right.
immune to this
Exactly.
thing. Yeah, but this is also a show where the main characters can die at any time. And that's usually a big, oh, shocking, oh, shit, didn't see that one coming. I got to watch next week. Oh, boy.
It's no Game of Thrones. I mean, they're not.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're not killing off.
They're not killing him off left and right. That's for sure.
They
like,
Can you-
Jessica and I always say this that Rick has like story immunity.
Yeah,
There's
yeah.
a better name for that, but like he's
he
probably not
has
gonna
been
die.
in. I can't even tell you. Almost every single episode, he like
Almost dies.
he gets close to
Yeah,
dying.
yeah.
And I'm like, really?
This would be very. I
wouldn't
was
have
very
got through
surprised
that.
when they said that Carl got bit because I was like, holy shit! I
Yeah.
thought he had story immunity.
Yeah. Well, we'll see.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
He might. So
Cool. Let's move on to that next topic.
Ooh,
Is that you? Is that you?
that's Scott.
Yeah, so this week, I think we all remember when the Weinstein stuff came out initially. Uma Thurman was asked on a red carpet if she had an opinion on this, and she was very pointed. You could tell there was anger bubbling under her. She didn't say anything there. What she did say was,
On a later statement.
I have something to say, and this is not the place for it, but I will say at a later time. And she did this week.
Yeah, it's been a month or two.
Yeah.
And I remember that statement, and I thought, I was like, whoa, she's got something really burning to say.
So after several months of saying she would reveal her sexual harasser, Kill Bill star Uma Thurman detailed how Harvey Weinstein forced himself on her in a London hotel room. She has also described how working with Quentin Tarantino on Kill Bill extracted its own form of non-sexual abuse that left her injured and irate. So this kind of came as a 1-2 punch sort of thing. Like, yes, Weinstein, especially after the success of Pulp Fiction, she said, quote, the bathrobe came out, and Weinstein forced himself on her. And so that is, that's out in the open, and unfortunately not surprising.
Right.
She did say she kind of regrets not speaking up sooner because of who she is and in relation to the Weinstein Company and Miramax and all that because she didn't say anything early on, and she was kind of one of the first big stars, like female stars of that world, the Weinstein related, that because she didn't speak up soon enough that other actresses maybe thought, oh, it's okay to work for these people.
This is what it's like.
Right, yeah. Like if Uma Thurman's okay, then, it should be fine.
Can we even out that on the mixer? I just realized the right side's going up more than the left. Yeah. Cool. Make sure we're not too loud back there.
And then the Quentin Tarantino thing, even though he defended or stood up to Weinstein in relation to Uma Thurman and the whole sexual harassment thing, he also, I guess, there's a stunt that he kind of forced Uma Thurman to do in Kill Bill involving a car where the car wasn't bolted down correctly, and she kind of protested. She didn't really want to do the scene without a stunt person, and Quentin kind of said, that'll be fine. I don't do a Quentin Tarantino impression. But
you're working on it.
I'm working on it. Yeah, and I might have to hurry it up if anything escalates. But so that left her with like neck and back pain and injuries.
Jesus.
And so she felt a different form of abuse, like not sexual, not it's your job on the line or anything, but he, on the set kind of made her, quote unquote, made her
do things she didn't want to do.
do things she
Right.
didn't want to do,
Pressure.
and so that all came out this week, and I don't at this point. We all know men are abuse their power and everything, and we don't need another name to add to the list, but this was a big. This has been boiling for a while,
Right.
bubbling under the surface, and so Uma Thurman's finally said her piece, and now we're waiting for possibly something from the Quentin Tarantino camp or something, because I saw something this week as well, like Weinstein was kicked off of another board or something that he was a part of, like a director's board. Just
Right.
another thing to add.
Yeah, everybody's trying to distance themselves from this guy.
Yeah.
Good
As they
idea.
should. He's a total creep.
Yeah.
And Weinstein had made some rebuttals a couple weeks ago. I don't know what those entailed, but he had mentioned that certain ways that he's approaching this entire controversy, I guess, for lack of a better word, that is going to benefit the Weinstein Company. And again, I'm not entirely sure what those entailed, but I don't know. The one of the more interesting sides of this story, specifically with Uma Thurman, for me, is that she is one of the earlier known kind of strongly based females for film. What is this, late 90s, early 2000s?
Yeah.
The Kill Bill series.
Yeah.
And before that, she did like Gattaca and stuff like that.
Well, and yeah, Pulp Fiction kind of
Pulp Fiction,
put her to the
yeah.
forefront.
Right,
yeah.
right. Once you dance with De Niro. Is it De Niro?
Travolta.
Travolta.
God, I mix their names up all the
Dance
time.
with De Niro sounds better.
Dancing
though.
with De Niro.
I mean,
Out this summer,
alliteration.
2018.
I would like to see that
The
movie.
alliteration, sure, but
That is one of my
Dance with
favorite
Travolta.
dance scenes ever. I don't have a
good
favorite
one.
dance. I don't have any other favorite dance scenes, so that's got to be it.
The one,
just
yeah,
love it.
yeah. It's
a good time.
Iconic.
But yeah, that is just. I don't really know how to add on to this other than, we're beating a dead horse that needs to keep being beaten.
Yes. Yeah.
It's not something we need to stop. It's that train
Yeah.
that needs to keep rolling.
It's a hard thing to keep talking about because it's like we're almost like we have a little bit of like compassion fatigue, a little bit of like emotional. Just,
Yeah, a lot of people will get that.
I'm
Yeah.
just sick of this. Like I'm sick of hearing about it.
Well,
and,
yeah,
but at the same time,
yeah.
it's like it's got to come out.
It has to come out, and I think right now we're in a transitionary period as to what will be done. Like, yes, the names are out. We have the accusations are out, but what will we do with that information?
Right.
And we can blacklist people. We can say you're never working this down again. We can fire people, but it's a systemic problem that we can't just point fingers anymore. We do have to change the way. So that's
And there's a lawsuit against against Weinstein.
Right.
We talked about that. I don't know, 4 weeks ago.
Yeah.
Maybe before that, honestly. Maybe before the new year. Also, Amber Rose, is that her name? Hashtag Me Too.
No, that's you always get her confused with
I do.
McGowan.
Rose McGowan. Yes.
Oh, Rose
Amber,
McGowan's, yeah.
Amber Rose is the girl that dates a lot of rappers, right?
She was married to Wiz Khalifa for a while.
Yeah.
Okay.
She was with Kanye West for a little while.
Yeah.
No, you're not thinking the same person.
Rose McGowan. She was in the.
Both buzz their heads. I mean,
I think that honestly might have something to do with it, and for some reason their
Rose,
names
yeah.
are similar. Yeah, she's been on the chopping block a little bit this past week on a transhumanism Facebook group that I follow. They were talking about her potentially saying something that would be considered transphobic. Something along the lines of, and I don't quote, a trans woman don't go through the same things as woman biologically
right.
originated.
Is that what cisgendered?
yeah, cisgender.
Cisgenders that you identify.
With the gender you were born with, right?
Yes.
Right.
Yeah.
Yes. And that they don't go through the same problems, and they I don't know about they, quote unquote, they aren't contributing to the movement like she is. And so it was a little bit. It was interestingly worded. It was all written down because I don't think it was recorded. It was at a Barnes and Noble's talk, I believe. So I don't know how the rest of the trans community feels about it, but
Sounds bad. I gotta say. Ooh.
yeah.
Well, to single out a very specific
Right.
part of it and be like, you're not struggling like I'm struggling. I don't know.
And from what I know about the community, the LGBT community is more on the forefront of progress relative to that as the trans community, and that the trans community is more so ostracized than the rest. So I don't know. I'm actually interested to read more into it and see what other people have to say about this talk that she gave. But are we ready to move on to the next topic?
Yep.
Yeah.
Definitely.
Cool. Let's see. What do we got here, Jess?
So we got some headlines.
Mhm,
One of them is there is a movie coming out about Ted Bundy.
Excited.
Yeah, and I do not remember the names of either of those actors, so help me out, guys.
That's
Zac Efron.
Zac Efron.
Yes.
And I forgot the other guy from Big Bang Theory.
Yes.
Yeah.
Well, because he's basically just in the Big Bang Theory.
I mean,
Yeah.
He's not in much else.
he really isn't.
But they've both
his
been
name,
cast in
man?
this Ted Bundy film.
Well, yeah. So we've known about Efron for
Yes,
a while.
yeah,
He's
but-
been attached since the beginning, but now it's more.
Yeah, these are ones that we'll just race through a little bit more. The gentleman on the top right, the two gentlemen on the top right are in the new Superfly film. Is that correct, Jess?
Correct.
Superfly reboot. I watched a trailer for the original film because I hadn't seen it. I knew it existed, though. It's a really largely recognized blaxploitation film from the 70s or 60s. And one of two movies. Should I keep eating these licorice in pieces? Because that's what's happening.
Sorry, guys, we're snacking because we want to feel like we're
included.
at a Super Bowl party. So
One of
candy.
two films where the soundtrack made more money than the movie.
Like Shaft.
Yeah.
I bet Shaft, the soundtrack made more money than the movie. Yeah.
Shaft?
I imagine.
I imagine too.
It was
actually,
a
now you
huge.
mention
It was
it.
a huge deal.
I'm your pusher. You know that song? Yeah, that's that movie. I'm actually kind of excited. I wanted to watch the original one. I watched a couple clips from it. It looks a little bit slow.
Okay. Well, I mean, it's the time it was made. Usually,
Right.
yeah.
Yeah.
And
Not as
like I was definitely not
fast-paced.
that demographic, and
Right.
I'm pretty young for the
Right.
blaxploitation.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I want to get into blaxploitation. I'm in my mid-20s. I want to see some blaxploitation.
I want to learn about it. I honestly do. I think my guess is that there's a lot of good films that came out of that
Sure.
era.
Guys, I only care about Afrofuturism right now.
That is the like.
Black Panther.
Yeah, it is the like what's the word I'm looking for? Theory? No. The genre? Yeah, it's a genre that appears in literature and in film. That Black Panther is currently using as kind of their backdrop. It's this
Okay.
futuristic yet culturally African mishmash type of thing. It was really interesting reading about it. I want to learn more about that too.
Huh.
Yeah. And then the bottom one
yeah.
is there are two new family shows coming to ABC network that are that are going to be created by or written by the team from New Girl.
Huh.
And so that should be fun because New Girl is going to be in its last season, and I'm sad because I really like New Girl. And
Now, would New Girl be considered a family comedy?
I mean, I say it's kind of like along the same lines of like How I Met Your Mother and Friends. You know,
Okay.
it's just
Okay.
a group of
Sure.
a young group of friends.
So they acknowledge sex and things like that.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
it's not super family. But
No,
Yeah,
and
it's
it's
Superfly.
becoming in the last season, from what I've heard, that two of the main characters have been married and they're gonna have kids, and it's gonna like go forward in time to like their kids are like 7 or 8 or something like that. So, so I don't know how that'll be.
Is that on ABC?
Mm-hmm.
Okay,
Yeah.
got it.
Yeah.
Cool.
all right.
Just to
Actually,
do.
no, it's on Fox.
Okay.
It will be on Fox. Okay.
I think so. The shows that are coming out from the team of New Girl are going to be on ABC, but New Girl is on Fox.
Yes.
Oh, got
Yes.
it, got it.
Yeah.
Okay, I see. I want to do a little bit of justice here in saying that the gentleman's name on the top right there
Yes.
is...
I've seen him in like shows
Yeah.
over the
Yeah,
years.
both
Very
of them. Both of them.
familiar
Yeah,
to me.
definitely.
I'm not getting it on my phone. Anyways, look that up. Superfly. Next
And
slide,
Jim
please.
Parsons.
Jim
That's-
Parsons, we
Yeah,
got it.
he was from Big
We're good
Bang
at this. We got the news.
Ah.
All right. So.
Oh, there's something I'm very excited on this
Yeah,
board
there's
about.
a lot of stuff going on.
So top one, Gone Baby Gone is getting its own show on Fox Network. So
Mhm.
that should be interesting.
Yeah, they ordered a pilot for it. I don't know that they ordered the whole
know.
season yet.
Yeah, I mean, if Casey Affleck's in it, I'm not gonna watch it because you're scum, Casey Affleck. Sorry.
Yeah, I've heard that. I've heard in the articles that I read about this is yes, if it would be very dumb of them to attach him to it,
Yeah.
and they
Mm-hmm.
and because of that they probably won't. We'll see.
Mm.
Yeah.
Bottom one is oh gosh, it's the Jungle Cruise movie.
Yes.
Is gonna
Yes.
be coming out with The
So
Rock,
fucking excited.
Dwayne Johnson.
Do we know anything
and-
about this?
No, when I saw the thing on the write up of Rock's going to be in the Jungle Cruise movie, I mean, it's my favorite ride at Disneyland. I'm very attached to the Jungle Cruise because it's so stupid and it's so over the top and punny and so I'm just. They'll shoehorn a story in there because there's no real story about it.
No.
It's basically what they do with Pirates of the Caribbean.
Yeah,
Right? And
yeah, they added a lot to that attraction to just like throw in lines from the ride, and so yeah, I'll just be watching the movie to see like a cinematic backside of water or something like that. So it'll be kind of interesting what they do with it because it's really they have a clean slate as to what they can do with it. So it's going to be weird and over the top, and it might suck. Haunted Mansion movie sucked. A Jungle Cruise movie might do the same, but
Sure.
we'll see what happens.
Yeah, I like Dwayne Johnson. I like Emily Blunt.
Th-
She's great.
Yeah, and it just means that they probably won't be getting rid of the Jungle Cruise anytime soon. So
No.
that's good.
Yep. And then the last one is that Tom Hanks is going to be playing Mr. Rogers. So that should be great. I love Mr. Rogers and I love Tom Hanks. So I think it should be really interesting to see how he portrays him.
Michael K. Williams is the name of that guy that was attached to Superfly redo.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
He's in The Wire,
Oh,
Ah.
okay.
which
where
none
I
of us have
recognize
sat
him
and
from.
Yeah, I've
watched
heard-
the whole thing.
yeah.
I watched a little bit of it.
Pete Holmes has a joke about there's no good way to tell people you haven't seen The Wire. Because people are like, you haven't seen The Wire? Oh my God!
Number
I
one
plan on
rated
watching it,
TV series on from the Writers Guild of America.
Yeah.
We should do we should do better for the world.
Watch
The
The
Wire.
Wire. Yeah, I'm excited about the Fred Rogers movie. It seems like a natural progression for Tom Hanks. Like two well-respected men in their field, and now Tom Hanks gets to play fucking Mr. Rogers. It's gonna be
Right.
My hope is that it is that show. What was the show called?
Mr. Rogers' Neighborhood,
Mr. Rogers' Neighborhood. Is that it's that show?
and
that
they just do
a new show
Yeah.
and it's Tom Hanks.
That would be great.
I don't think that's what it is. I think it's like more of a biopic film.
Was
Yeah.
it? Who they also said the role of Mr. McFeely is going to be somebody kind of weird.
I
It's
have such vague memories of this from when I was a
I'm a
kid.
big
I like that
fan.
she's wearing a rug.
I am
She has to be
too.
hot under that thing. It is. That is this is like it looks like animal skin. For being honest here,
It's not.
no, but it's very furry.
It's not that warm. Well, actually, I take that back. It's kind of warm.
Looks warm.
I'm cold at all times, and I'm not anemic, and I can't explain it. So,
I can't
I
explain.
don't know.
Yeah. Excited about Gone Baby Gone Girl. Which one is it?
Gone, baby, gone.
Excited about the TV series for that. The movie was really good.
Yeah,
Um,
movie was really good.
I think it's gonna be an extension because I think it's book series, so I think it's gonna be an extension of that
Yeah.
book series. The bottom two, I'm honestly like iffy about. I don't think there's anything that The Rock's in that I'm
Yeah.
ever like that excited about. To be
we'll
honest,
Yeah.
see. We will see.
I like
Except
him.
Moana.
Yeah, that was pretty
yeah.
solid. But yeah, it seems like a good fit for him too. Like on the same line as Jumanji, and you know.
Yeah, honestly, when I saw this, I was just like, "Oh, they're just gonna do Jumanji."
Yeah, kind of. Yeah. Same khaki shirt
I
or
know,
whatever.
right?
Speaking of the guy that did the most recent Jumanji movie, got like picked up to do a series of movies through the studio that released Jumanji,
Huh.
something like that.
Yeah.
So
Because I think that's been well received.
it's
People
doing
like
really
it.
well in the
My
box
sister
office.
saw it. She liked it a lot.
I think it was like #1 the last
How
2
many
weekends or
animal-
something.
Mhm.
How many movies with giant prehistoric animals will The Rock be in?
Oh, I thought you were just talking about The Rock.
I'm just asking because he's been in a ton
Yeah.
recently.
How many movies with The
Yeah,
Rock being?
he has to pick on people his own size. So giant prehistoric creatures are up there.
Let's go to the next slide.
He's a big man.
He is. He's huge.
All right.
All right, so this segment is called Coming Soon. Every week we talk about the films or television shows that are coming out for the following week that we should all be out there watching. Not necessarily.
No.
And we assign what we believe the Rotten Tomatoes scores are going to be for those. And so it's coming soon now with Post Tomatoes, which always comes before.
Pre-tomatoes.
Yay! And then there was a Winchester. Winchester is that horror film that came out
Helen Mirren.
with Helen
Okay.
Mirren.
Mhm.
It did
real bad.
It did real bad.
12%.
I'll just go through them all. We
Yeah.
thought all of these are going to be 60%.
AP Bio was
Bio,
close at 53.
pretty close. Ultra Carbon, right on the money, 61%.
61.
Yeah.
Which I'm kind of disappointed about, honestly, because I really was looking forward to watching Ultra Carbon. I might still watch it. I don't know, but that's a really low score.
I do want to check out AP Bio because it has a lot of good people in it. Patton
does.
Oswalt.
Good actors attached.
Yeah. And I've read a review about the pilot, which I think is all we have right now, and how there might be something there, but I mean, it's a pilot, so
Yeah.
it's just kind of
Yeah.
a splash of,
Usually
hey.
they usually don't hit the mark.
Yeah, so I'd love for it to succeed a little bit, maybe get a few seasons.
Ultra Carbon looked good. And it looked, I mean, we talked about this last week. It looked like a 2049 a little bit as far as cinematography is concerned. 61, it isn't an awful score. It's definitely
No.
not the best.
No, it's really not.
Honestly, I feel like
I
61
don't know.
means watchable.
It's not. I don't know.
Yeah,
I don't think it means
61
lovable. or
Right,
watchable.
but I think 61, it's going to appeal to a certain type of person. You know, maybe be a little culty. You know, yeah,
Yeah.
divisive. You know, yeah.
We'll see.
And historically, they get lower the scores.
Yeah, So good luck,
So,
Winchester.
Winchester, we're definitely
You're
not going to see
coming
you.
to single digits soon.
Sorry, Helen Mirren.
That
really
is
sucks.
awful. Yeah, 12 is pretty
I
bad.
That's
really
too
like
bad.
her,
Cool.
so-
So now we're going to talk about the next films coming soon now with pre-tomatoes, which always comes after.
Post
Post-tomatoes.
tomatoes.
Yeah. Cool. We'll keep making this more convoluted and harder to follow.
Right.
Let's see what new television and movie shows are coming out for this upcoming week.
All right, so we got Ritual, which is that show in the forest with some British people. and
Yeah.
they all
For some
get-
reason, I
Okay,
think it's
we watched the
Netflix. Is it
trailer.
Netflix original?
Yeah,
Yes.
and it
Yeah.
looked like it was some sort of like werewolf or like supernatural thing. That's like
Yeah. 5
eating
white
them.
men
Yeah.
walking through the forest of like Sweden or something.
yeah, something like that.
Actually,
you
look-
had me at 5 white men.
honestly,
With
the
British
trailer.
accents.
The trailer looks like fun to me, but I have a soft spot in my heart for horror films. You always know that it's a Netflix show is when the trailer drops the weekend before.
Yeah.
They're not good at
Building,
advertising ahead of
yeah,
time,
yeah.
building any sort of discussion about it.
Right.
God, they have to have such a strict release schedule, like because what was the thing we read, like 80 movies or something in a year, something like that.
Crazy.
Like Christ.
Yeah,
It's unbelievable.
Yeah.
And then Queer Eye for the Straight Guys coming back.
Coming
guys.
back.
yeah, reboot.
February 7th on Netflix, which is kind of cool. I
Did you watch the original?
caught a couple shows here and there. I never was like an avid watcher, but I will give it a chance because I think it's fun.
That show initially kind of pissed me off. Well, no, not the concept of it, because the country at the time was, I mean, heavily anti-gay. Like
Oh,
no
definitely.
marriage, or we're going to call it something different. Like gay people weren't getting the respect, but this show was so popular. So it was
Right.
like it was a nation of hypocrites going, I like it when gay people
Tell us what to wear.
teach me how to dance and how to dress nicely, but I ain't going to give them any rights. And that really pissed me off at the time.
I see, yeah.
So now
We're out of place.
we're at a better place. Not completely, there, but we're at a better place. So it the novelty back in the day was gay people are only good for certain things,
Right.
for their stereotypical fashion
Or there's
sense
only
or whatever.
one type of gay
Right.
man, which is like this,
Flamboyant,
Effeminate.
and
but that's not true.
yeah. So I think now is maybe a more progressive time for this show to be back.
Yeah.
And I'm less angry about it.
Who's the stand-up Bill? He has a podcast, a morning podcast.
Bill Burr.
The guy on the far left of that poster kind of looks like Bill Burr.
Yeah, he
Yeah.
does.
Yeah, when he had hair.
It's a new cast. It is not any of the same original people, as far as I understand. You mentioned the country at the time, but from what I understand, Queer Eye was one of the first, if not the first, that really put kind of the LGBT community on screen.
Yes, it predated
They said,
Drag
like,
Race
Ellen.
and
Yeah.
Stuff like that.
Did it predate the Ellen talk show?
I think it did.
Wow.
I think so.
Will and Grace was also one of the
Yeah.
first.
Yeah.
So it was really cool to see both of these shows come back.
Yeah, Will and Grace is doing great.
I'm interested in
awards.
watching this.
It's doing really well. And then 1517 to Paris.
Yeah, the 1517
this
to
is
Paris.
The new, what is his name? Super conservative guy that's in Dirty Harry and
Oh, Clint Eastwood.
Clint Eastwood.
Oh,
yeah.
right.
It's the new Clint Eastwood movie.
Okay.
Yeah, this is about I think some military dudes on a train that find out that some people on the train have a bomb or something to that
Okay.
And they
effect.
come to their rescue, and it's all
Interesting.
America.
Yeah.
So-
Yeah.
Perfect day to
Well,
talk about it.
Clint Eastwood is a good director.
He is.
I
though.
will give
He
him
is.
that.
Gosh, there was this movie that he did with about a car.
Gran Torino.
Gran Torino.
Yeah.
That movie was really.
It was
good.
really good. Yeah.
I actually really liked
I
it.
think that was the last one I saw of his. But yeah,
Yeah.
that movie floored me. It was funny. Like his
Yeah.
character, how like overtly terrible and racist he was.
Yeah.
I remember the first scene being in a funeral, and he just says something like totally inappropriate for a funeral
Just
under
quote
his
it.
breath. I don't remember it, but I just remember being like, "Holy shit! Okay, that's gonna be this movie."
Yeah.
Yeah,
They're not holding back in punches. there.
exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think it's interesting because he's a good actor. He's a good director, but knowing that he's so conservative kind of bothers me. But yeah.
And he's like one of their heroes they championed. Like,
Yeah.
we got Clint Eastwood.
Right.
We got one.
Right,
We
got
got
one.
we got
One
Patricia
guy.
Heaton, we got Kelsey Grammer, and we got Clint Eastwood.
Grammer.
So fuck all y'all.
Bruce Willis.
Is Bruce Willis considered?
Yeah. All right. What are we
Tim
gonna
Allen.
give? What are we gonna give these movies as far as Rotten Tomatoes scores are concerned?
Ritual, I'm gonna give it like 50%.
I'm hoping. I always hope in
A
my
little bit
heart
better.
that these movies can do better. These horror
Yeah.
films,
Like
Netflix
70 something?
original.
Yeah.
It looked fun. It was a good trailer.
60.
I'm gonna say 70.
Okay.
70 something. I'll go 70
Okay.
something on that.
70.
Let's just do 70. Like
70.
Okay.
Okay.
flat. Are we trying to do one score for all three of them? That's
We've
the
done
same?
we've done that for the last 2 weeks.
Just to kind of
Um,
I mean,
speed
I
up the
could see all
process.
three of them getting a 70, don't you think?
Could
Queer
you?
Eye
Maybe
and-
Queer Eye a little bit higher. I don't know,
Yeah.
just because it's an easier thing to digest.
Yeah. Let's do 75 for all three of them. How's that?
75. It's Clint Eastwood.
Yeah.
So he's probably gonna get at
Yeah.
least a 75. Right?
yeah. Yeah.
75 guys. We're
75.
gonna do it
Sure.
all the way across again.
Sure.
So potatoed.
75.
75. That is our expectations for next week, and the rest of the movies and television shows that are coming out worth noting
Here they are.
are
Okay.
Channel Zero,
Butcher's
Butcher's Block. It's Channel Zero season 3. Jessica and I finished the second season.
It was weird. It was a weird one.
I had a
because I don't know if I
has a.
That was the one about the
recommend
kids TV show that didn't exist, or was that just one?
Well, yeah.
episode?
Let's take a step back. Channel Zero is
an anthology type show.
Yeah, it's an
right?
anthology show where every
Like American
season is
Horror
different.
Story.
Just like American Horror Story, it's on the Sci-Fi Network, and it is based off creepypastas. Every season
Yeah.
is.
Okay.
So the first one, yes, was based off of the children that are watching the TV, Candle Cove.
Yeah.
The second season is
about a house in
No End House is the name of the season, which is the same name of the creepypasta. And this third one is called Butcher's Block. We watched the trailer for it. It is very creepy and weird, and all we know is that there's stairs that you don't want to walk on.
so we don't know much else about it.
Yeah, I didn't
would
love
like
the
to-
second season as much as the first.
No, it was very weird. It was definitely creepy. Like it
was
definitely scared me, but it was
slow.
slow.
It got good scores, though. People like this show.
Yeah, it's,
I
it's
like
a
it.
creepy ass show. Like if you like horror shows, you will like this show.
Yeah, watch it.
Yeah.
Absolutely. It is
First season especially really good.
produced by
Super
Max Landis, which
Oh.
I don't know that I'm a huge fan of Landis, but
Uh-huh.
he's a name.
Yeah, he's kind of a dick.
Yeah, we hear he's kind of a douchebag. Word on the street.
He's very interesting, though. There is a Nerdist episode where, he has a million ideas in his head. In the episode, he talks about this idea for a script he has, and you don't find out until the very end when he's wrapping it up that it's an origin story for Captain Hook. And you're just like, oh, that's so fucking good. 'Cause he was telling that because he doesn't have time for all these ideas. Like he'll write out an idea, it's like, oh, that's really good, but he has like 5 things in the pipeline, and just like, I can't get to this.
Yeah.
But it's such a good idea.
Right.
And that was just a for instance.
Sure.
So it's like he's eccentric and weird.
Eccentric is a perfect word.
Yeah. And maybe kind of a dick. I don't know.
But he's got the ideas.
He's got the ideas, and
and I'm glad that somebody's producing the show, to be honest with you.
Yeah.
It's a fun one.
Yeah.
In the Cloud, a Crackle original movie.
What is Crackle?
that free app that
The Crackle Barrel.
yeah.
No, Crackle.
Cracker. It's about the flag.
It's
And,
a semi-popular streaming service. It's been around. I always see the name everywhere.
Yeah, it's on my Apple TV. It's free content with ads.
Yeah, somebody is attached to this that has a decent name. I'm gonna look it up again. But
Interesting.
what's that other one, guys?
When we first
Roku
met,
has one.
a Netflix original movie
Mm-hmm.
with Adam Devine and Alexandra Daddario.
Mm-hmm,
Okay, it looks like a coming of age. He's the
Romance movie.
friend of a guy who has a girlfriend, but he also likes her. I'm just guessing from the poster,
Like, it's what
but
it looks
he's
like.
got a heart of gold, because why not? And maybe it becomes into a weird triangle of love, but they see through the end that they're all good people, and maybe Adam Devine gets another girl, and then they have a love square, and they do double dates. Maybe. So
Looks lame and cheesy. That's
February 9th on Netflix, I give it a 100%.
right by Valentine's Day, guys.
Yes.
Have yourself a little romance. You just watch this movie.
Stave off suicide just one more week and watch When We First Met.
Oh my God! Please don't watch it. It looks so bad.
Yeah, maybe that's that'll be the thing that just pushes you out the cliff.
Over the
Don't kill yourself. But
In the Cloud. I don't know what it's about. It looks like it's sci-fi. It looks like it's
Yeah,
sci-fi.
directed
where
by
all my-
Robert Scott Wilds. He did Poor Boy, and written by Vanya Asher. So I was lying about those names, but I knew there was something interesting attached to this. High octane sci-fi thriller. Ahead of the full-length feature, it will be released February 6th exclusively through the Crackle app on PS3, PS4, and the Vita systems.
Wow.
Apparently,
okay,
I
so
think
very
I think I read that you
small-
could watch this like on VR or something.
So cool. That's
Ah,
awesome.
okay.
And it has like some.
Oh, did we watch a trailer for this?
I don't remember.
I remember there being some sort of VR movie
We
thing.
watch a lot of trailers.
Yeah, but I mean that kind of stood out. I mean,
Sure.
it was, and we're just like, okay, this kind of looks dumb, but
Yeah.
I mean, maybe as a movie, it's not very interesting, but
Sure.
like as a tech demo, it might be really cool. So.
Yeah, a lot of B name
I
actors
would
attached
watch
to
like
this.
one
Yeah.
episode in VR just to see what it's about, what
But
it's like.
because it's
Yeah.
on Crackle, it'll be like 9
I
commercial
know,
breaks.
It's like, oh dear God, maybe it's not worth
And they
it.
won't be like timed right to the movie, so it's like it'll be in the middle of dialogue.
Yeah.
Actors from Bates Motel, Merlin, Breaking Bad,
Yeah.
Wow.
Shameless.
Cool.
Okay.
Cool.
Cool.
All right, next slide, please.
Definitely gonna watch Butcher's Block though. That's the one I will for sure watch. What
All
are
right.
you watching? Segment, guys. This is what we're watching this
What
week.
are we watching? Let's go to
Casual
the next one.
chat of things we are
We should
currently.
make Poltergeist one of our required viewings one time,
We
just
should.
because of that picture.
Yeah.
What do you guys think?
I haven't seen it in many, many years.
It's
I know all the tropes from it, but what is
We
the
should do
next
it for
slide?
Halloween.
Yeah, let's go to that next slide and let's try out some camera changing. See if
Yeah.
you can see if you can get some of that going on.
Yeah.
All right.
Cool. Who wants to go
what we're
first?
Watching. I'll go first.
'Kay.
I'm watching a lot of things, but I watched the newest episode of Grey's Anatomy this week, and it was really good. It was about Dr. Bailey, her picture is kind of in the middle of that photo up there. She had a heart attack, and
No!
She knew that she was having a heart
I love
attack.
Bailey.
She went across the river or wherever in Seattle to a different hospital because she didn't want her
Did she swim?
coworkers to no.
Is that why she has a heart attack?
She didn't want her coworkers to know or see her at the hospital. She wanted to be somewhere inconspicuous because she was like, I'm having a heart attack. I know I'm having a heart attack.
Yes.
And so she went to the hospital. She had her husband drop her off at the hospital, lied to him and said she had a meeting to go to. And
Oh my God.
and
That's what happens when you lie to the
right,
husband.
right? And the cardiologist was doing all kinds of testing on her, and he's like, no, you're not having a heart attack. She's like, I swear to God, I'm telling you, I'm having a heart attack. Women do not have heart attacks. Their symptoms are not the same as men. Like when you have a heart attack.
I know where this is going. Go ahead.
And he didn't listen, of course.
Oh,
And then
that's not where
and then what happened was she was like, I'm not going anywhere until they do a stress test on me, cardiac stress test. He's like, I'm not doing one. You're fine. And she has OCD, so they talk about like they have a psychiatrist come in and say like, it's your OCD. It's not. You're not having a heart attack.
This is the longest heart attack ever.
Yeah. Well, and then at the end,
She should be dead by
it's
now.
amazing because she actually is having a heart attack, and another cardiologist comes over from the other hospital that she calls, and the only way they find out is that she literally is giving CPR to a patient in the room next door because they're coding, and then she falls and like on the floor,
Jeez.
and they're like, oh. Like she was right the whole time. She is having a heart attack, and so they had to do surgery on her and all this stuff.
Yikes.
But basically, it's really good. It's a really good episode. It goes into like her past and her backstory and how her mom was always so fearful of her doing anything, like even just riding her bike outside, and how she like was always very protective of her. And so when she wanted to become a surgeon, she's like, no, you cannot do this. It's too dangerous. And yeah, so it's just a really good episode. Like. Really enjoyed it, and I think it had a lot of good messages, as usual, for Grey's Anatomy.
Yeah, Grey's Anatomy is great at that. Looks like you and I are going back in time and watching
Yes.
some old sitcoms.
Well, yeah, I started from the beginning watching Parks and Rec. Parks and Rec is a show that I had popped in on while it was running.
Oh, I'm surprised here.
Like a handful of episodes here and there, so I know a little bit of the world, but I never did it from the beginning. And I was on Netflix a couple days ago, and I think I was thinking of it. There's a show that I want to start called Wormwood, which is a little heavy about like the LSD experiments the government did on soldiers and stuff like that.
yeah, in the 70s or
Yeah, I don't want to get in on that, but I was just like, Parks and Rec was, there. And I was more in a comedy mood, so I started watching from the beginning Parks and Rec and enjoying it. Solid show. It's interesting to see like the first handful of episodes, knowing how gelled and tight that group of people will become.
right.
So like the first couple of scenes with Amy Poehler and everything is just interesting to see the origin of it and how they all kind of meet and
Right.
how Chris Pratt gets involved in everything. So yeah, I'm enjoying that.
I genuinely think the first season is hard to watch. I watched the whole first season, and the first time I laughed was the very last scene.
Really?
The very last scene.
Yeah, I'm noticing
falls
there
in the pit.
Yes.
like the show is loaded with little jokes, not big laughs, not big concepts.
Yeah, not big
little
laughs. Yeah.
jokes here and there. You're learning. Oh, okay, Aubrey Plaza is this type of character. Chris Pratt is this type of character.
Right.
That sort of thing. So yeah, it's just kind of kind of getting through all that to get to the good stuff. I guess.
As it goes on, that show only gets better.
It's a great show.
Good
Love
show. Nears The Office for me.
Sure.
Doesn't beat it. But
Same
nears it.
vibe, yeah.
Same people
Definitely
too.
same vibe.
Yeah.
Megan
Same
Mullally
writers.
posted today that she got a tattoo of her husband. Oh, what is his name on that show? Guy in the picture who's next to Amy Poehler.
Yeah.
I forget his name. but
Yeah.
She posted a picture of a
Yeah,
tattoo
Ron.
of his face on the back of her thigh.
Oh my God.
It was awesome.
Awesome.
And she's only like the 100th person to do that. Like
Yeah.
he's so loved. They Might Be Giants, my favorite band in the world, just used Nick Offerman.
Yeah.
Him in one of their promotional videos for
almost
their
said
new
Ron
album.
Burgundy.
He is.
He's basically Ron Burgundy. I just put
Yeah.
that together.
Yeah.
But yeah, they used Nick Offerman from one of their music videos.
Nice.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Oh, I've seen that one.
Oh,
Yeah,
that's a good one.
it just popped up like in the last week or so. Yeah,
Nice.
Nick Offerman.
Wait, it's a new video?
From their new album. Yeah.
Oh, then
I
he's
might
been
be
in
thinking about. I'm
he's
sure
been in
he's
other
been
music
used.
videos.
Yeah,
because
sure
I've
he's
seen
been
him in
used a
other
lot.
ones.
He's so
They're really
great.
fun. And I'm watching Community. I remember watching this when this came around. My buddy got me into it like maybe second season in. I continued to watch it. Really fell in love with the writer, which I talk about all the time, Dan Harmon. His podcast. Harmontown is, arguably the thing I would bring with me on the island. God, I'm losing all my words.
Bit of media.
That thing that the question that you get when it's like, what would you take to the
Right.
island?
The Desert Island.
The one,
Yeah. Take
yeah.
to the desert
Thank you, Jessica. So Community. I'm going back through it. Honestly, I've only seen it once through, and then sprinkled some episodes here and there. But I decided to start at the beginning again.
Yeah.
Work my way back through it. Dan Harmon doesn't write or show run for season 4.
Right.
Then jumps back on for season 5 and 6 through Yahoo. But
the Yahoo,
God,
I remember really liking the Yahoo season. It was like, it's back.
I
you know?
honestly thought this was from what I can remember that season 4 onward, it started to go downhill for me. Even when Harmon came back,
Yeah.
a lot of people don't like season 4 because it has a little bit of a different tone. I like some of the episodes, especially the first episode in season 4.
Yeah, I don't remember because I did
Scooby-Doo
right
episode.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
I thought that was okay.
I mean that show had so many things happen to it
Yes.
and happen
A lot of controversy
within it.
Chevy Chase.
And dealing with people leaving, Dan Harmon being kicked off, then brought back on, the seasons starting in January. Like I remember, I think that season 4 has an episode where they film like a Christmas special and they put a line in there like, oh yeah, this is a holiday that can be celebrated in any month. Like kind of acknowledging that they're being fucked with. They didn't get the same treatment they did at the beginning. And it was always a show that had a hard time catching a foothold in the zeitgeist or the popular show.
Yeah, I think it has more of a cult following,
Yes.
largely because of the Harmon thing as well. Joel McHale was a huge advocate for getting Harmon back, and he eventually did come back, even with his.
But a lot of the people on the show are now
They're huge. now.
Allison Bree's
She's
everywhere.
Fucking in the Post, which we'll talk about here in a
Yeah,
second.
yeah.
Chang has his own. That's his name in the show. I don't know.
Yeah. And then
Professor Chang though
and
has his own
he's actually
TV show
really
now.
a doctor in real life, and then he was in all
Yeah.
the Hangover movies, right?
Yeah, we
And
got
then-
what's her name? And she's in Love.
Gillian Jacobs.
Gillian
Yeah,
Jacobs,
she's
freaking
doing her own
Childish
stuff.
Gambino.
Yeah,
I mean,
Donald
honestly,
Glover. Yeah.
this is a big cat. They all have went on and
He's
really
in
did their own
Atlanta.
things.
I mean, they're all blowing up.
Yeah.
Definitely.
It's
Yeah.
awesome, and these were all no names, which was
Yeah.
the fun part.
Yeah.
A lot of them were like in improv
Besides
troops
Chevy
and
Chase.
small things.
I remember Allison Brie was on the Nerdist, and they were talking, and they asked her about like, oh, what kind of music are you listening to right now? And she said, honestly, I'm listening to Donald Glover. He has this side project called Childish Gambino. He's dropping an album pretty soon. It's really good. And at the time, I was like, oh, that's just one of those vanity projects.
How good can it be?
Yeah, but then he's brilliant. He's
God, he's
fucking
so good.
Redbone, the song Redbone, so good. That entire album,
Yeah, I listened to
Can't
that song
recommend
100 times.
so freaking good.
I don't know how he raps, acts, writes, sings.
dances,
Triple threat.
I mean,
He
everything.
I keep on bringing up the Nerdist podcast on this thing.
It's a good show.
But yeah,
No longer the Nerdist podcast.
that's right. IDTNT. Donald Glover's episode, because he was a writer on like 30 Rock and stuff. He as part of his writing package, he had a spec script for The Simpsons. And he kind of goes into the details of it on the Nerds, and it sounds like a good episode. Like it would be really cool if they produced that somehow. But yeah, brilliant people, community. I have been actually thinking about going back and rewatching because I watched it as it happened, and then I bought the DVDs and watched those, and then haven't really gone.
You ready to do it a third time?
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
I remember loving those shows. They're so high concept and
Yeah, really high concept, really digs into like Dan's brain.
Yeah.
He also says that he wrote all these characters. He wrote and directed, and I'm sorry, he didn't direct. He directed with the Russo brothers, which now went on to do a million things too.
yeah.
That these are all kind of people that are like different exaggerated characteristics of himself. I mean, write what you know, right? And I think and because of that, the show did so well on top of amazing actors and people attached to it.
Yeah.
But it's just one of the fun parts really for me is that they really fucked what it means to be a sitcom with what it means to be a sitcom, and that they did like claymation episodes and sing-along episodes of this huge like war.
Yeah, every year they would have a
paintball.
paintball thing.
There's always there was a there's always something that makes this so funny or
Maze
so
or
fun.
whatever.
Oh,
The
yeah,
Big
the where it's like a whole village, like a
Yes,
Middle
yes.
Eastern village, and they're
Yeah.
crawling. Oh, it's so brilliant.
It's just
So
so
good.
smart.
Yeah.
Really good show. Anyways, what else is going on here, guys? We're not in trailers yet. I know that. Oh, I think it's the game. Oh, last week's crowd viewing.
yeah, okay. The
Cool,
post.
The
chose
Post.
Kevin
What'd you
did.
think? Yeah, Kevin.
Kevin did.
Fuck it, we're talking about it.
We're talking about it
Yeah.
anyway.
Yeah.
We can talk about it again next week.
Sure.
So yeah, we saw it last night. You saw it the night before. Meryl Streep, Tom Hanks, directed by Steven Spielberg. It's got to only clock in at 2 hours, no longer.
Yeah, I mean, it's a substantial film, but it doesn't really drag. It doesn't. It ends when you feel it should.
Right.
It doesn't labor over the Supreme Court part of it.
Right.
No, yeah, everything could have been drawn out, and they did a good job
Yeah.
at editing this. Initial thoughts? How did you guys feel when you walked out of the theater for this movie?
I mean, I really liked it. I thought it was really appropriate for this time
Sure.
period, and when the freedom of press is being again kind of threatened by the current administration, and there's just a lot of scary stuff going on, and
Yeah, you mentioned last night. You're like, I really feel patriotic, but damn, like First Amendment.
Yeah.
Love that one.
Yeah.
That was a good choice.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. There's one scene in there that was very cry-worthy when you and I did cry, and I honestly don't remember what it is anymore. Is it Meryl Streep doing a talk?
No, it was a scene where they're getting the Supreme Court decision, and the girl is on.
Yeah,
the
she's
reporter, the
reciting
female
it,
reporter
yeah.
is on the phone.
She must have been excited to get that
And
part.
She said,
Yeah,
you
yeah.
know, that one of the Supreme Court justices said that the freedom of press is for the governed, not the governors. And then we just were like crying because that's I
Yeah.
do rarely feel very patriotic, but that was a moment where I was like,
Right.
yes, that is so true.
And that's what really, is supposed to put our country apart from other countries, is that this freedom of press, the people have a voice. They, we don't just do what we're told. If
Right.
something's wrong, the whistle has to be blown. So very poignant for this time in our lives, and a lot of parallels can be made from Nixon to Trump without any real thought about it. It's like, oh yes, this is exactly what's happening. I mean, there are a few points in the movie where I thought maybe a little too on the nose, but overall, I mean, you have some of the best actors and movie makers making this movie, and it was well done. It's a good, solid film. But
Is it one you would go back to?
maybe
Okay.
I kept on doing, because it like I told you off air, this is a story you can look up. Like it's a thing in history that happened,
Right.
like Apollo 13. And I wasn't as, maybe because Apollo 13 is about physically getting people from space back on Earth safely.
Right.
And this is literally about a stack of papers.
Right.
And the importance of the papers, but it's a Cold War basically
Yes.
of movement, like a chess game, like what's the president going to do? Are we going to get sued?
it's its own little Cold War story.
Yeah, exactly. Like a lot of like we won't know until we make our move what's going to happen, sort of thing. I guess Apollo 13 in that way had me a little bit more engaged than this movie.
So you were making those parallels. You were thinking Apollo 13 while you were watching this?
Yeah, just because of that was a thing that happened in time. We can all look up what happened without seeing the movie and know that they all got home safe. That was it. And the same thing with the Post. So yeah, in that way, I made parallels. Am I the only person at the end of the Post when they pulled out on the Watergate Hotel? Did they want the Forrest Gump scene? Because that's literally the part in Forrest Gump.
I don't remember the scene.
Well, that's one of the little dog-eared thing in history, because one of the times Forrest Gump went to visit the president, he stayed at the Watergate, and they have a little scene of him on the phone looking out the window, basically to the last frame of the Post, where it like zooms out. You see the people with the flashlights, and Forrest Gump's like, I guess there's a blackout across the way, but there's some people with flashlights. I so wanted that to happen. I mean, it would have been way too meta and stupid, but
it would have been awesome.
God,
yeah. You would have had much more respect for Steven Spielberg.
Oh yeah, like good on you, sir. But yeah, like just in the Post, you hear the night watchman say, like, I think somebody's trying to break into the Watergate.
Sure.
Yeah.
That's awesome. That would have been awesome.
That would have been.
I really liked the movie. I had a good time. I had much lower expectations than what I came out of it with. It was very like enthralling and thrilling, and there was like Meryl Streep's scenes where she had to make these big decisions really resonated with me. Tom Hanks, I didn't love his accent. I thought it was a weird. Yeah, I didn't. He didn't sell it for me.
Some scenes were a little gruffer. Like the voice was a little gruffer than I don't know.
Heavier.
Yeah.
And then some scenes were. There was some. Yeah, definitely some scenes where like I almost didn't see it there. I don't know. Either way, I didn't like that character choice. I don't know who to blame for that. I was listening to
Tom Hanks. He didn't do it right.
A lot of really good actors in it, though. Besides, I mean, obviously Tom Hanks and Meryl Streep were both excellent, but it had Alison Brie, it had David Cross,
Bob Odenkirk.
Bob Odenkirk was my
he was
favorite.
Really, really
Yeah.
good.
Other than Meryl Streep, was my favorite actor.
And I definitely had a nerd squee when both Bob and David were next to each other. Like, fuck yeah! Like, yeah!
Right
Yeah, when
there.
you look in the background, they're actually like writing sketch.
Yeah.
For that. It was this is a prequel for the origin story of Mr. Cho.
Yeah, that scene where you see David Cross walking with Tom Hanks, like, is that David? That is David Cross. And then they get in the office and Bob Odenkirk's like, yeah!
Yeah, Bob Odenkirk was fantastic.
Yeah, he was
obviously
really
a much bigger part than David Cross did.
And then Tom Hanks' wife, oh gosh. She was in People vs. O.J. Simpson.
Oh, yeah.
Been in all the
She was great.
horror stories. I always forget her name, but she is wonderful.
Yeah.
I love her.
I was listening to Harmontown this morning. That's my version of Scott saying I was listening to Nerdist today. And he started going into the Oscar nominations and immediately just shat on the Post, kept doing it. I'm an hour in and he keeps bringing it back up. It is so funny. I don't agree with all of it. He mentioned that he's like, it was to the point where, and it's a comedy podcast. So he's obviously just,
He's
joking around, but he's like, Steven Spielberg, stop making films. Just quit it. Or stop writing the line of, I'm going to make boring films or I'm going to make exciting films. Like just either go for it or stop doing this bullshit.
And I you know what?
He's like the first scene where you see Meryl Streep and Tom Hanks, and the camera's panning like left and right, and he's like, they're just fucking sitting down and talking. This isn't the point. This isn't a point at which you should do that. That's a directorial thing and a director of photography thing too. He also, and I felt good about this. He also mentioned Tom Hanks' less than stellar accent thing. Yeah, and they have a relationship. I don't know how close the relationship is, but he produced Monster House for him, that cartoon
Oh,
movie.
cool. Okay.
Spielberg produced Monster House, which Harmon wrote
I see.
alongside some other people. But yeah, he said this shouldn't have been on there. The Florida project should have been on there.
Oh, yeah.
There's a couple other movies that he named that he's like, they're much more worthwhile and much more worth talking about. And again, I disagree. I really like this movie, and it moved up my ranks. I like it more than Phantom Thread. As far as the nominations are concerned, I like it more than Dunkirk, which we saw the other day. I don't think it outbeats though, like Shape of Water. It's right on that line. I don't think it outbeats Lady Bird or Get Out though.
Yeah,
which are,
when I think of Best Picture, while it is a good film, I don't think artistically it pushes any boundaries. It does anything unique, really.
Sure.
It's a well done movie. It's a well told story. It's interesting. It's poignant. It's all those things. Well acted, but as far as like breaking through and doing something unique, it's pretty by the book.
Sure.
Like Shape of Water goes to some interesting places. Even Dunkirk, which deals with an actual thing, the storytelling is kind of right. It like deals in different times.
Yeah, Dunkirk is really. We haven't talked a ton about it, but and you haven't watched it yet.
I haven't watched. I'm just listening to what you guys were saying last week.
Yeah, it's an interesting
much less a
film.
character study and much more just about the story.
It's all. I mean,
it's story based.
There's barely any dialogue in Dunkirk.
Right.
Interesting.
Which is a weird,
interesting
choice.
Yeah,
it's gorgeous.
Cinematography is so beautiful. But
Right.
I don't know. I wouldn't put it at the top of my list.
Yeah.
Even though I'm a big fan of Nolan, but wouldn't be my top.
And like Get Out is a genre film that is a
Deserves
social
where it needs to be.
commentary, and
It's breaking boundaries.
it can be looked at on many different levels. Like it's a funny film, it's a horror film, it's social commentary, it's a lot of things. So I mean, in the lineup of Best Picture films, there are ones that I think are a little bit more artistically interesting than The Post.
Sure.
I agree.
Sure.
I agree, and I think Lady Bird's my top.
Fun.
As of right now, I still have 2 more to see.
Yeah.
I still have to watch Darkest Hour and Call Me by Your Name, but I definitely.
Oh, and I just found out that three billboards outside Ebbing, Missouri, which Dan Harmon also said he found shitty, and he's like, it could have been 2 billboards. What the fuck?
Yeah.
But I just found out that it's the same writer of In Bruges, and I'm a huge fan of In
Interesting.
Bruges.
I remember that movie.
And then there was another movie in between, and then this writer's done 2 movies that I really, really enjoy. And so it makes me more excited about 3 billboards, even though I'm not hearing great things from this table. But overall, The Post, recommend it?
Yes,
Yes.
absolutely.
I recommend it.
For
Yeah.
sure.
Good
It's
movie,
very
good movie.
Very good.
All right.
Let's talk about what I am requiring next week that you guys watch. And I'm going to force Kevin and Jason to watch this too. It is called
Just the
House of
first
Lies.
episode
It's a
of
show,
House of
right?
It is a
Yeah,
show
okay.
on Showtime. It
can
is
I get it?
available on Amazon Prime right now.
Cool.
It is the reason Don Cheadle. One of a couple of reasons that Don Cheadle is my top 3 favorite actors. It really shows that he has way more than this kind of dramatic, this dramatic role that he normally gets cast into. He is fucking hysterical. I mean, he's just a really well-rounded actor. It has a really good cast attached to it too. Only one of the main cast I don't know who he is. I don't know that I've seen him in anything else. It's the white gentleman in the very back. But Jean Ralphio, that actor from Parks and Rec on the left side, I forget his real name, but he is a
Schwartzman. No.
Ben Schwartzman.
Ben Schwartzman.
Yeah, no,
No.
Ben Schwartz.
I follow him on
Yeah, I
Instagram.
forget
he is
but-
kind of like Ben Schwartz.
It's
though.
funny.
He's not Ben Schwartz
He's
though,
not
but
Ben Schwartz, but he looks like
he's
him.
an improviser actually.
Yeah.
He comes from an improv
And
background.
then Kristen Bell.
Bell.
She's great.
Adorable.
Yeah, and her show, The Good Place, is doing really well right now.
Yeah. Good
apparently.
For her. Yeah.
And this is I mentioned this before. I'm a huge fan of ensemble casts, and this is a very well done TV show, which interestingly enough is based off of a book, titled House of Lies, but it's all about God, I don't know this world at all, but it's all about the world of business and whether or not people should invest in certain things or not. And they're
Stock market.
they're all they do is they're business advisors. Really, they get hired out by other companies to advise them on whether or not they should do something in their business or how to make their business better, et cetera, et cetera. Again, not a world that I know or care about. I love this show though. It's like Sons of Anarchy. I don't care about that world personally. Really well done show.
Right.
Yeah, I mean, I go out and ride my weekly Sunday Sunday rides.
Right, yeah.
Chaps,
Yeah.
You know,
We have to cut this short because you got a ride to get
Gotta
to.
ride
Yes.
tonight. Yeah, I got to ride with.
It's
With
no
Tim
secret
Allen.
that Dylan is in love with Don Cheadle. So.
It is no secret. My
We will
D&D
watch
name,
this.
my very first D&D campaign, my name was Mom Cheadle. Everybody called me Mom. It was a good time.
Mom cheat.
Don Cheadle, you
Complete him.
You complete me. You really do. So you're making me blush.
So episode 1, first season, House of Lies. We'll
Yes.
Cool.
Watch
All
it. Watch it. We'll talk about it next week. What else is going on, guys? I think we have our game.
Yeah.
And then we got our trailers, and then we're done.
Last Spy Standing.
Standing.
Which is
Spy-
good
Last
'cause I
Spy
want to be
Standing.
done by 8:15 so I can watch the episode of This Is Us where Jack dies.
Crockpot versus Jack.
Crockpot.
Anyway. Yep.
That's the
Yep.
big thing
You're
about.
shitting me?
Not
Nope.
shitting you.
Oh my
It's-
god.
So that
We
that
don't
would-
know yet, though. There could be. We don't know.
NBC posted a thing earlier today about like the actor like coming to peace with a crockpot or something. Because like there have been like people throwing out their crockpots because this show's insane.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Fuck, yeah.
We have an electric one.
Yeah.
Oh no, we have a pressure cooker. I didn't know it was a crockpot. I thought pressure cookers are the ones that were dangerous.
No, it
don't
can
know.
be.
They
I mean,
both can be, I
if
think.
you throw it in a bathtub, it's all downhill.
Yep.
Anyways.
If they're real old, get rid of it.
I thought about this because I was like, man, I'm running out of ideas here. Let's go to genres, and I just looking up all these like genres that are not as popular as other ones, and I was like, ooh, let's do Last Spy Standing. Obviously, a couple of them here stand out, and that Archer is a cartoon. Austin Powers is a comedy
parody of Spies.
Exactly, but otherwise we have the classical 007. We have Mission Impossible. We got the Bourne series, and we have the Taken series. So the idea here is that each of us are going to eliminate one at a time, and then land on the last spy standing. Now, how are we doing these, guys? Just based on how well done that series is, or just how much we like that character? All the above.
How much we like the character.
Yeah, all
and
the above,
all
really.
the
Yeah.
above is fine.
Okay,
Yeah.
cool. Who wants to start here? Who wants to
I'll-
get rid of the first one?
I'll get rid of Taken.
Yep.
You ready?
Good
Okay,
call.
that's a good call. Not as fun as the rest of them. I am going to get rid of the Bourne series.
Okay. That's
Not
fair.
as fun
That's
to me
fair.
as the rest of these.
Shit. That's hard.
Yeah, so you got Austin Powers, 007, Mission Impossible, and Archer. All of these I'll
You
be
know,
upset that you eliminate.
I know. I know.
I know which one you're going to get rid of. Actually,
007. I'm sorry.
whoa, that is not what I thought you were
Wow.
going to say.
Whoa.
I know.
Really?
I know. Guys,
She doesn't watch these movies though.
no, I've watched a lot of 007 movies.
Then what the hell?
I am in love and obsessed with both
Austin
Archer
Powers.
and
Oh.
Austin Powers.
Oh, okay.
So-
What?
Yep.
But get rid of Mission Impossible.
Okay, fine. Mission Impossible.
No. I mean, we
I
could.
don't care as long as both of those. stay.
That would actually make it more interesting if we get rid of 007 early on.
Okay.
Because that's
Yeah.
it's the easy win.
That's the obvious. Yeah, like he predates all of that shit.
and there's freaking 25 movies.
Yeah.
Yeah. I
Um,
think gotta be honest, Mission Impossible is a little less chauvinistic than 007.
Yeah, it's not. He's
Sure.
not the playboy.
yeah.
Right.
So
But I mean, come on. So is the Spy Who Shagged Me. Yeah, you're right.
It was a funny
Serious.
joke.
It was a funny joke.
Yeah.
All right, you win. That fucking weird choice, but good for
So
you.
Mission Impossible, Archer, and Austin Powers are still up.
That's correct.
All right. Well, I'll get rid of Mission Impossible.
Ooh. Okay. This one is actually kind of an easy choice for me.
Yeah.
I don't think I've outgrown, but I don't lean on it as like a comedy that I think about. and day to
I
day.
know you're getting rid of.
I'm getting rid of Austin Powers.
Oh.
Yeah.
Definitely when they were out, I loved those movies.
Sure.
They're so
They're
good.
solid.
Yeah, as far as those like SNL people spinning off into these weird character and goofy movies, that's one of the ones that would be at the top for me.
Right.
Never die for me. Just love it. I love
And
Austin Powers.
again, it hasn't died for me. It's just not. I don't have that same
Sure.
golden heart for it.
Yeah.
That's not an expression, but I made it up.
The Golden Heart.
Golden heart.
I have a golden
Archer.
heart for you.
Archer, on the other hand, though, is still in the zeitgeist. They're still making seasons, and
That's fine. I'm fine with that choice.
I-
love Archer.
yeah, I can't speak highly enough of how important this show is to me.
So funny.
It's so good. Outside of that, though, I would have chosen 007 to be honest with you.
Yeah.
Okay.
There are just so
If-
many
if
solid
if
films.
we were going on like serious, series, I would have chosen probably Mission Impossible. But
Favorite actor? What would you have gone with?
I would say 007. I mean, yeah,
Yeah.
he's a classic.
He's a classic.
I do think that Daniel Craig is one of the better 007s. I enjoy him a lot as 007. But
Daniel Craig is the Trump of the 007 administration, though.
is he?
No.
Just want to be controversial.
Explain.
No, yeah, Daniel Craig is fantastic. They keep talking. The producer, I believe, or maybe the writer of the newest film keeps talking about how they do plan on exploring new avenues for who would be their next James Bond
I was just
or their
gonna-
next spy.
Yeah.
And it could be potentially somebody of color or a female.
A woman. Yeah.
That would be.
It took forever
amazing.
for Doctor Who to change
Get
a little
woman.
bit. Yeah.
I didn't think about that. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
That was another big
I
franchise
mean,
that.
Yeah.
they flirted with the idea of Idris Elba, who would be a great choice.
Yeah.
Sure.
And or a woman. Let's be forward thinking here.
I do
people.
like the I didn't like the last 007. I like every other movie that Daniel Craig's been in.
Yeah, you didn't
I-
like Spectre.
I didn't like
You
Spectre, and
like
I
Spectre.
didn't, which is the
Okay.
most recent one, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I thought it was okay.
And I didn't like the second one that he did.
I didn't like that one either.
But Casino Royale and the third one were
Mhm.
It's
fantastic.
great. Yeah.
I do like that. I feel like a lot of them have made. Casino Royale wasn't like super action packed, but I do like that they're kind of like there's a lot of action in the Daniel Craig films
Mhm.
Yep.
relative to some of the other ones.
Every other, a lot of the other ones.
But I don't think Daniel Craig's my favorite.
I don't know that he's my favorite. I just he's up there for me. I like him as
Right.
007.
But H. John Benjamin,
Yeah. That
Ah.
voice. Golden voice.
Golden
Yeah.
Voice. Listen to his jazz album.
It's great.
It's a good time.
You just cry laughing. It's so
All
good.
right.
All right, let's move into our final segment of the night,
Trailers.
trailers. So the idea here is that we're going to watch a handful, one of which I am so excited. Horror film that is being lauded as the next
Yes,
best,
I
the
wanna
next
see this.
greatest. But let's start with
Unsane.
Unsane.
Interesting.
Again, props to the producer.
Thank you, Digi.
Thanks.
Your life
That
slips
just
away
seems like
from
a
you,
regular Friday
you
night
know?
to me.
Changing your phone number and your email becomes normal.
Just kidding.
Taking out a restraining order, normal. Relocating to another city, normal.
But you still see your stalker everywhere?
Rationally, I know this is my imagination, but I'm alone in a strange city and I never feel safe.
There's some more forms you need to fill out. It's just routine.
I finished my homework.
Sawyer Valentini, please follow me.
What? Look, I don't have a lot of time. I should be back at work, so. What am I doing in here? Take off your clothes down to your underwear. I'm not sure what's happening here. The door's locked.
It would be better for everyone, especially yourself, if you just do as I ask.
There's been some kind of mistake.
By signing this, you've consented to voluntary commitment.
I am being held here against my will.
Do you know how many calls the cops get like that every week?
Those are from crazy people.
Interesting.
This man, he's followed me all the way here from Boston. I'm calling the cops. I want him arrested. My stalker is here.
We did a thorough background check.
You should be protecting me.
Mom,
No one believes me.
I'm getting you out.
There's nothing we can do unless you have proof that a crime's been committed.
I must be insane. I must be insane.
My mom didn't pick up last night. Hello?
I must be insane.
What happened to her?
A dead body was discovered.
I must be insane. I must be insane. I must be insane. I must be insane.
I'm not crazy! He's here. Or maybe it's all in my head.
God.
That looks great.
Yeah, kind of cool. Steven Soderbergh, Magic
Very
Mike,
creepy.
Ocean's 11.
Yeah.
The most interesting part of this, to be honest with you, I had read about this a while ago and I forgot about it until now. It was shot on an iPhone.
What?
Really?
The whole movie was shot on an
interesting.
Holy
Isn't
Okay.
that crazy?
Yeah.
This is not the first time movies have been shot on an iPhone before, but
Yeah.
if I'm not mistaken, this is the first time a huge
Major, yeah,
producer
yeah.
director is shot on an iPhone.
Interesting.
So yeah, that's almost enough for me to check this out. Not only that, the story actually looks really interesting.
Yeah, it looks
I-
very like claustrophobic, and it might like freak me. I mean, just like because paranoia
okay.
and like mental things like get to me. Like
that's one of my biggest fears is because I've worked in so many psych hospitals and I've been the counselor, the one who's doing the group therapy and
Yeah.
stuff. I always have a fear that I'll end up as a patient in one of them.
Really?
Yeah. Oh yeah.
People are gonna.
Oh
I don't
my
know
God.
who you are.
Yeah.
You're not allowed at it.
And that they're like, oh, you used to be the therapist here, and like
You're insane.
Yeah. So
Jink.
scary.
Insane.
Insane.
It's a scary thought, but you know what? Psych hospitals they should exist. They are here for a good reason.
Yes.
And they're not like that.
Yeah, they all have better lighting. It's not all flickery all the time.
You
That
get to
happens a
smoke
lot.
all
Or
the
like
Yeah.
insane
It's
asylums.
Yeah, I have a friend that's going through where's the story going? Ooh, what is Dylan going to say? A stalker thing, and I've had friends in the past that have gone through this, and it is crazy scary, and it doesn't always work out as pretty as you might think. And this is not where I thought that was going to go when this trailer first started.
Sure.
Yeah,
right.
but it turned into a psych thriller.
And it really sucks because you can get a restraining order against someone and they can break that restraining order.
Yeah.
Or
You know,
in the case that I
scary.
heard, it was I tried to do one and the police advised against it.
Yep.
Because they realized it
You
actually,
tried to.
I
put a
didn't
restraint-
personally.
Oh,
no,
okay.
no. But a friend of mine tried to put a restraining order against a stalker,
Okay.
and they advised against it, saying that it wasn't going to help. There's the potential that a restraining order won't help because the police aren't going to be there. It's not like you're being
Right.
watched by police to make sure you're
Sure.
okay. What it could do though is tick off the stalker.
Yeah.
Because
Yeah.
now they know, because they have to legally be notified about it, and so what they recommended was that she didn't do it, and instead do everything she can to keep distance, and that the hope is that a stalker, because they get obsessive, obviously. The hope is that a stalker will move on.
Yep.
Yeah.
You hope it doesn't move on to somebody else, but there's
But
That-
typically that's what they
That
do.
energy has to go. Like
Yeah,
there's a
somewhere.
very the documentary. It's about men who are it's not on Netflix, but it's like men who are fixated on a certain actress. I forget who it was, but
there's a documentary about that particularly one actress.
yeah, I think so. And at the end of the movie, one of the three subjects is like over this actress because he has shifted his attention to Alyssa Milano.
Oh my God.
And so now he's talking about, well, Alyssa's, she doesn't like this, and I'm going to see her next week, and oh God.
God, it's
So yeah, like the obsession shifts. And,
That's one of the reasons why I don't want to be famous, guys. So don't make me famous, please.
stop it.
Please stop.
Next week on Screen Source, Messica Rowry Roris.
Right.
This is not my real name. This is not my real house. Don't try to find
All
me.
right,
This
next
is a
trailer. What does
soundstage.
that say? The replaceable to the world? What does that say?
Irreplaceable something. Irreplaceable you. Replaceable you.
I'm sorry. I should mention that it's a little cropped off, just a little bit. So if you hit that little square in the bottom right corner, we'll be able to read it a little bit better. There you go.
Irreplaceable you.
You.
Yay.
On Netflix.
Looks cute. Let's give this one a shot.
Adorable, but
how is it possible something that giant comes out of there?
It just looks like something out of a sci-fi horror movie.
That's not helpful. Sam is the love of my life.
Happy engagement, you guys. Cheers. Yeah.
What if it hadn't worked out between us?
Impossible.
I have some difficult news. The blood test shows that you are not pregnant.
Oh, there's this moment when everything changes.
You have a mass.
It is cancer.
This is the moment. At least we won't have to pay for college.
Unless it's a really smart tumor.
Welcome to the last group you ever wanted to be a member of. How's Estelle holding up?
I hope she keeps up the bird watching after I'm gone with whatever new guy she's banging.
Welcome to group.
wow.
Grab a seat right there.
I
So the actors in that circle.
So
He thinks it helps.
Does it?
Well, he's not dead yet, so it's got to be doing something, right?
I'm just trying to find something positive here.
Your wig is pretty.
It's my hair, man. This is a disaster.
Who's gonna match your socks?
I can take care of myself.
But what if you can't?
Were you sexting just now?
Let's be real. Sam's gonna be a chick magnet.
He's never had to date.
Too freaky, too pretty.
I decided to cut out gluten.
Okay.
Is she finding him a new man?
You're gonna feel like a real ass.
You
I'm
are
sorry,
not
what?
allowed to talk to me like that. I'm sick.
No, come on, that's not gonna work.
She's got to be scared out of her mind. Right now, she just needs to know that you are going to be okay.
Setting me up, are you serious?
Trailer's too
You
long.
don't have as much time as you think
telling-
you do.
yeah, it's telling us
It's
too much.
true for you, it's true for every person on the planet.
All the what ifs are missing out on what is.
I thought if I planned your whole future, it wouldn't hurt so much not to be a part of it.
To the things we do for the people we love.
This song has like an Arcade Fire kind of feel to it.
Well,
Netflix
that's a little
film.
too close to home for me.
That's
guys.
heavy.
I'm a palliative care social worker, and that feels like a lot of my patients.
I feel like that's who the movie's for.
Yeah.
Because I don't have any interest in this.
I mean, it tugs on all the right heartstrings, you know. I mean, you know, inseparable couple, you know, planning for future, cancer, all that good stuff.
Yeah. Are you in a place right now where you would watch this film?
Maybe if I get down enough.
Wait, what?
If I get real enough and be like, when I just want to cry.
Oh, if you get like down in your psychological.
Yeah.
Okay.
Low enough and be like, ugh, just need to see some beautiful people cry and hug and
Then it's for you. Sounds
Definitely gonna
good.
give that a
I'm gonna
watch.
do a skip.
I'm gonna watch.
You guys
that for
gonna
sure.
watch?
I
You
might see
gonna-
it, yeah.
Okay. Cool.
Oh, we didn't say what we were gonna do with the first one, did we?
Oh, I'll watch that one.
I think I'll watch that one.
Unsane.
I liked it.
Yeah. I'm trying to be more realistic about this. I'm gonna wait on that.
I liked it because.
But if you guys go, I'll go.
Claire Foy's in it, and I
Yeah.
love her, so I will see it because of her.
Yeah.
An iPhone 4. What the fuck? That's crazy.
I know.
Or
It's
not
like
4.
amazing.
10 probably.
Yeah,
Probably
maybe.
iPhone
Yeah.
Probably 10. iPhone X, probably.
iPhone
Right.
X. Next trailer. Dundee. We watched the.
Oh no.
Watched the thing
Another
last
trailer
week.
For this?
No, well, we didn't watch the trailer.
Oh, it was a teaser.
We watched the teaser last time.
Good day, losers. Yo, where the kangaroos at?
Brian Dundee?
Yep.
Really?
Yeah.
Really?
Why do you keep saying really?
What do you mean Dundee's lost in the outback? He is the outback.
He is the
Nobody
outback.
talks about Mick like that.
Careful with that
These are all
knife, mate.
Australian
Sharp.
actors.
A knife? How big?
What do you mean there's two of them?
Free beer! Free beer! Free beer!
You ever seen a humpback whale give birth? It's a bloodbath.
Speak to me, little guy.
Yeah, when your dad did it, he was much.
Okay, and when my dad told me about this, he was just like, yeah, I just came up and he did this, okay?
I just don't think he can see you from back here.
I don't just own this newspaper, son.
Oh my God, Russell.
I own this country. And Dundee's gonna learn who the most dangerous animal in Australia is. It's me.
Whatever.
You forget how many famous Australian actors there are.
Yeah.
JP Steele. I love that shit. Is that Chris Hemsworth's brother?
Yeah.
Definitely look like him.
My mom's
So you
side
guys
of the
know
family
about
are
this,
all
right?
Jazz musicians, so kind of comes natural to me.
How long is this trail?
I feel like we watched all of this.
This is just like a longer.
Oh.
Yo, where them kangaroos at?
Brian Dundee?
Yep.
Really?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
Really?
Okay, let's pause there.
Why do you keep saying really?
Yeah, I just
Yeah,
feel like it's gonna
okay.
keep going. You guys heard about this?
A little bit. Like this is a parody, or like this was made as a spoof for the Super Bowl or something like that.
No, I believe the Australian government funded this filmmaker who has done this in the past to make these movies. Yes, kind of as a parody, but more like it's kind of a giant like "Come Visit Australia" commercial.
Okay.
Tourism, yeah.
Yeah, that's funny.
Yeah, it's purposefully, as far as we know, not supposed to actually be made into a film.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's what I heard. It's not an actual film.
Yeah.
But it's made to look like it.
But I love the amount of effort they're putting into this.
Yeah, that's
I mean,
funny.
it looks awesome.
I mean,
Yeah.
I had my reservations with the teaser trailer, but this looks really funny. I think I'd watch it just because it looks stupid.
So if it were a real movie,
yes,
we'd be in.
Yeah.
Stupid enough.
Yeah, sure.
I think I'd probably rent. I wouldn't watch it in theater.
I feel like I want to see him in more things. I want to see him.
Danny McBride.
Danny
Yeah.
McBride.
Funny,
He's
but
so
yeah.
funny.
I definitely wouldn't pay to. I mean,
I was at a wedding. He was he wasn't the best man, but he was a groomsman. And
What? Oh my
yeah,
God.
Why?
My previous girlfriend was friends with a woman that caught the eye of one of the writers of that Seth Rogen movie that was filmed here. It was about like a guard at a mall. And it was a really dark comedy.
Like Paul Blart, but like
yeah, like it came out kind of the same time as Paul Blart, but it was like Seth Rogen's really dark. But the director was the guy who directed Eastbound and Down. So Danny McBride and all that crew, and one of the writers met my ex-girlfriend's friend while he was filming that movie, and they hit it off and. Yeah, they got married up in Santa Fe, and I went to the wedding.
That's cool.
Well, it was funny because my girlfriend at the time was like, "Don't be weird about Danny McBride."
How can I not? Yeah.
Right, like don't ask him for an autograph, and I was cool. I didn't.
Yeah.
But then, like towards the end of the wedding, all these people were like getting selfies with him. It's like, whatever. And he was really cool about it. I mean, was he? But
Yeah.
he, yeah, it was just kind of weird.
Nice. 1 degree from Danny McBride.
Yeah, I was in the same room as him.
We were realizing last night 1 degree from Meryl Streep and Tom Hanks. 2 degrees.
2 degrees
because of Bob Odenkirk.
Yeah.
Because our friends do improv with him, and
Sure.
yeah.
Amazing.
Pretty cool.
On the Christmas list.
I think we only got a
card
couple.
list.
No, is this the last one? Ooh, there's music in the background.
Hey, everybody.
I believe this is the last one. Let's give this a shot. Disobedience, the movie I've been waiting for. The trailer I've been waiting for. Oh, somebody followed us. That's what it was.
Yeah.
Oh,
cool.
I missed it. It came up.
Awesome.
Came up.
Thanks for following.
We really appreciate it. Oh no, this isn't the movie.
Hereditary is the.
You're right.
one, Yeah.
There's all of these have one name if you noticed.
Oh my gosh, how
Dundee, Hereditary.
We weren't expecting you.
Oh, I'm sorry, I forgot. My father just died.
So you came to on the road.
Why else would I be here?
Hello, Esty.
Your wife. She won't be distracted by Ronnie's return?
We all have forgiven you, Ronnie. What for, Thurman? For everything. We never thought we'd see you again. Sorry to disappoint you. And you're not married.
It's important that this week is conducted with honor. It's the most important thing.
Honor.
Ooh, forbidden love.
It's insane that you're here.
This is my house we're talking about. I keep it in order.
Zero interest. Oh wait, I changed my mind.
I knew that was gonna happen.
Why did you get married?
I think he felt that marriage would cure me.
Why did they agree to this film?
Ronnie, is that you?
Oh shit.
What's happened? Tell me the truth.
We need to stop this.
Did she just take off her hair?
I'd do anything for you. Do you know that?
Look at me! I have always been this way!
God, I hate the music.
I want you to give me my freedom. I want to take your picture.
Wow.
For some strong sexuality.
Well, I think that that looks really interesting. I would actually watch it just because I really like Rachel McAdams and Rachel Weisz.
Sure, I like them too.
And I
Sure.
think,
But the
the
tone
I like
of that
Jews.
movie.
Well, the concept is really interesting. It's that like it's forbidden love. You know,
Yeah.
so
Forbidden love.
I like
Yeah.
it. I like it. The concept.
Yeah.
It's like it reminds me of I watched Carol, which was on Netflix. Is it still on Netflix? And it was excellent. A movie with a similar premise. Yeah.
I know nothing about the culture of Judaism.
Mm-hmm.
I'm being honest. We grew up around a city that had no Jewish community.
Right.
Yeah, that's true.
Like
It really didn't.
I've met very few
I mean,
Jewish people in my life.
It wasn't none because I went to a church in some surrounding city,
Right.
a synagogue, and one of my friends was actually Jewish. Her name was Jessica Applebaum.
It's pretty Jewish last name.
Yeah.
But she, she was awesome. She was really nice, and I
I
went to
date
synagogue.
exclusively Jewish women.
It's true.
It has,
said.
yeah. That's why.
Happy accident?
Yeah. In Albuquerque, New Mexico, I'm like going down the line. Yeah. But no, yeah, Jewish. Well, yeah, this is the stricter Hasidic end of Jewish because Jewish people are very liberal. They're very. We don't give a fuck about gay marriage. We don't give a fuck about abortion. Like it's none of our business. Yeah.
This talked about specifically the Jews that like that is excluded, like ostracized, not ostracized, but
well, they are very strict
secluded by the
followers
religion, I
of
think
the
is what it
Torah.
said.
Yeah. But yeah, I maybe it's some deep-seated, Catholic guilt thing that I'm dealing with. Be like, just I'll date a Jew. What are you gonna do? Huh? Date Jewish women, Mom.
You're like, what?
Jesus,
What
schmeezus.
now, God?
Anyway,
hard pass for me.
Yeah.
I probably won't see this.
I'm gonna watch it. I think the premise is really interesting, and if you have time, you should watch Carol on Netflix. I recommend it.
And you should try out that piano chord. Let's watch Mute, the official trailer.
Do you know what it is to make your dreams come true, Leo? I've seen you working downstairs. You're a good man.
What's that accent?
As a barman, should not punch the fucking customers.
I don't deserve you, Leo. I love you so much.
Forbidden
You
love.
don't know me.
I want to know what the deal is with this crazy bartender.
Sure you want our help with
Yep,
this?
all right.
This kind of thing hurts my reputation.
Daddy's gotta go. Oh, no soda. Your girlfriend has secrets. You lost me? Take a hint and fuck off.
Moon is fantastic.
Moon, yeah.
Oh, and
Not very talkative.
Warcraft did good overseas.
Something's going on. You need to maintain a sense of humor, babe. You gonna give me some trouble, big boy? Or are you gonna channel that famous Amish serenity?
What is?
Leo, I need to tell you something.
This is gonna stop right now. It ain't a secret anymore. Would you do anything for her? Say you're sorry. Fucking say it! Why the hell can't he talk?
He doesn't need words.
I have a theory that this is set.
It looks
That
very
that
like
this
2049, you know?
I know. I have a feeling that this happened a long time ago in a galaxy far, far away. But it is about the mundane. It's about the mundane relationship of three friends. All the while, other things that are happening in the background, we may or may not see, like Jedi fights and
All
and
this
blaster
cool sci-fi
pistols.
shit, but it's about this really tight little romance story.
Yeah, that nobody really cares about,
Right,
but they love the
right,
Star Wars
right.
universe so much
Right.
that I'll take anything.
Yeah.
I mean, Alexander Skarsgård, who's really good in Big Little Lies. He played an awful person
Yeah.
very well and won a bunch of awards for it. And he's very nice to look at. So I think I'll watch this because.
Well, now that you mention that, I'm in.
Yeah, I was on the fence. Now I'm on the side of the fence where I watch
Guys,
it.
this guy is very nice to look at. Like, very nice.
I couldn't-
Like, even you guys would be like, oh.
I can
yes.
objectively
Yes.
understand that he's attractive.
Yes.
Is very. After watching him in Pretty Little Lies, this is hard
You
to.
mean Big
It's hard to
It
feel
was
that way about him
fucking
anymore.
terrible.
It's
yeah,
awful.
Those scenes are so hard to
he's
watch.
brutal, but
Mm.
he's a good actor because he makes you hate him, like really.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I don't know.
Do you want me to be Alexander Skarsgård and Big?
No.
Little Big.
Hell. No.
Hereditary. Let's watch Hereditary.
Hell no.
The scariest thing in the world right now.
Oh my God!
Already.
What is happening?
Come on, Peter. Let's just do it.
It's heartening to see so many strange new faces here today. I know my mom would be very touched and probably a little suspicious. My mother was a very secretive and private woman.
Yes.
That's Grandma.
That's all I needed.
You know you were her favorite, right? Even when you were a little baby, she wouldn't let me feed you because she needed to feed you. She was a very difficult woman, which maybe explains me.
I recognize you from your mother.
What? Sometimes I swear I can feel them in the room.
Whoa!
She isn't gone.
She had private rituals, private friends.
Who's gonna take care of me?
You don't think I'm gonna take care of you?
But when you die,
And she wasn't altogether there. At the end.
Did you do that to himself?
I don't like this. Dad, I don't like this.
What's happening?
Don't you ever raise your voice at me! I am your mother! Mom, what's happening? Make it stop! Make it stop!
Hell yeah.
I just don't want to put any more stress on my family.
Hereditary.
Ugh. That looks
Wow.
Whoa.
that looks horrifying.
Want to see it?
Yeah.
All I needed to know is that the writers of The Witch.
Toni Collette's great. I really like her. But holy shit, that looks really scary.
It doesn't matter who's in it.
The Witch was, I mean,
Yeah.
great.
It was amazing.
So
The
good.
Witch is amazing.
So,
Did you watch The Witch?
I haven't seen The Witch. No.
You should
Oh
watch
my
it.
gosh.
It's real scary.
Do you like scary films?
Sure.
Okay.
Yeah.
Please watch them.
Okay.
And,
yeah.
From what
Yeah.
I'm sure from what you've heard, it is not a
typical
standard typical
Yeah.
horror film.
Okay.
Highly disturbing. Like,
This reminded me a little bit of Mother. Is that what it's called?
yeah, it reminded me
Yeah.
of Mother, and it reminded me also of The Witch a little bit. Like the way that it's filmed and how it's not a typical horror film. Yeah.
And to be clear here, I think I've watched 3 movies named Mother in the last year. One of which is the horror film that we're talking about.
And then there's a Korean one.
Oh, right.
Yeah, yeah. The one we watched was though was like Swedish. The one that's a horror film or something like that. It's definitely a European.
Right.
And then there's the Korean one, which we had as required viewing here
Mm-hmm.
last year. And then there is the newest one, the Aronofsky
Yeah,
film.
yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Very common title.
Yeah.
Apparently.
Mother.
Oh, and then who did Guillermo del Toro did a movie called Mother based off of a short film. So lots of and it's a horror film. Lots of films called Mother. I'm watching Hereditary for sure. I'm gonna go to
Yes,
theater for that,
absolutely,
especially with the
yeah.
amount of hype that's behind this from
Yeah,
Sundance Film
I'm
Festival.
excited.
It looks scary, very scary.
The next Exorcist. it
Yeah.
said.
I'm
And
gonna
that's
scream in the theater, guys. You're gonna hear me.
And then Exorcist is on the top of my list. Is scary. Like I like watching it because I like this the creepy feeling I still get from it.
Yeah.
It's
a fun
yeah,
feeling.
If it it is.
Yeah.
It is. So yeah, Hereditary.
Hereditary. Yeah. Okay, cool. Great. Every Sunday at 6 p.m. MST, make sure to tune in to twitch.tv/ColorTicket Live to watch Screen Source, a film show, television show, a news
Next
show, a
week
review
we'll be
show, and a trailer
watching
show.
some new trailers that you might have already seen today during the Super Bowl, or maybe
Yes.
not.
Sup, Binary 01010.
That makes sense.
That feels like a digi handle, doesn't it?
Binary.
Uh-huh.
We'll
But yeah,
see.
so
Not him.
it's not him.
All right.
Thanks for tuning in, and have a good. Hope your team is winning.
Yes.
That might be.
We hope that.
Hope your favorite color is winning all the points.
And
That's
bring,
true.
Bring the tissues for This Is Us tonight. Don't cry too much. I know I will be.
Happening
in a
pretty
puddle.
soon, right?
Me too. What required viewing? House of Lies.
House of Lies.
Also,
And any of the Oscar-nominated films that are, up there.
yeah, we're gonna continue to watch that before the Oscars come around. Maybe we'll do a live
We're gonna do a
watch along with that.
Mhm.
I think that would be a fun, good idea. Make sure to tune in tomorrow. We're going to be doing Control Alt Delete instead of Expert Schmexpert at 7 p.m. MST. Again, twitch.tv/ColorCircuit Live. Let's play that outro video. Let's see how beautiful that thing is.
Bye.
Bye-bye.